trick is to tell them stories that don't go anywhere.
I want to bring it back to when you first started with the NSA. You started as a contractor, right? What was your initial impression, and when did you know that things were really squirrely with the programs they were implementing?
So I'm not saying this to put you on the spot. I know you've been a busy guy. I know you have done. I think shows recently. You come back from break, right? I grew up in a federal family. My father worked for the Coast Guard, retired after 30 years. My grandfather was an admiral, and then he worked for the FBI.
I needed a new heel for my shoe. So I decided to go to Morganville, which is what they call Shelbyville in those days.
And so I started doing web design really, really early on. This is like, gosh, I don't know, probably 1998. Her husband, to her, he's calling from the NSA and saying, hey, you know, I think Ed should leave for the day because I'm the only employee of this business besides her. In the book, you know, I talk about aliens and chemtrails and things like that, and the fact that there's no evidence for that. I went looking on the network, right?
So I tied an onion to my belt, which was the style at the time.
We created shows like 24 and Jack Bauer, where he's like threatening to knife people's eyeballs out if they won't tell him this, that, or the other. If you look at Russian cinema, all they had were gangster movies. It doesn't really feel like it matters anymore. Like, I'm making more money, I'm becoming more accomplished, and I ended up breaking my legs.
No, to take the ferry cost a nickel.
They were shin splints that I was too dumb to get off of, right? He throws me around his neck, you know, I'm like a towel. He's just skipping down like it's nothing. On the other side of the log, because it's the woods in Georgia, I'm at Sand Hill, I see a snake.
And in those days, nickels had pictures of bumblebees on them.
Son, if you jump on those legs, they're going to turn into powder. I went to a job fair, actually. There's like flags on the wall that are just like gently billowing in the air conditioning like ghosts. But they go, well, are you willing to go overseas?
Give me 5 P's for a quarter, you'd say.
People hear in movies about The Farm, which is down at Camp Peary in Virginia. I'm sent to this actually much more secret facility called The Hill. Now, there are many different types of intelligence that the intelligence community is responsible for.
Now, where were we? Oh, yeah. The important thing was that I had an onion on my belt, which was the style at the time.
And I'm replacing this old-timer who's about to retire. Really, really nice guy. But he spent most of his days just reading novels and doing nothing. And so I did some side gigs for these other guys, and one of them was running what were called dirty word searches. If I made lunch plans with other people in my office, it was classified.
They didn't have white onions because of the war.
I had what was called a special caveat on my accesses called PRIVAC, which means privileged access. And so dirty word searches were these kind of automated queries that I would set up to go across the whole network. One of the employees who had worked on this program years before had come to Hawaii.
The only thing you could get was those big yellow ones.
Now, why am I talking about all this ancient history? Well, I'm sitting here in 2012 with a classified Inspector General's report. And at that moment, I realize these guys don't care about the law. These guys don't care about the Constitution. These guys don't care about the American people. They care about the continuity of government. They care about the state.